Hello, it's me, Vicky again. Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Y en el video de hoy, in today's video, voy a explicar la diferencia. I'm going to explain the difference entre aquí, between, aquí, acá, allí, allí, allá. And this was, so many of my students ask me about these words because you hear them so often and they don't really understand what's the difference between them. Aquí, acá, allí, allí, allá. So notice with the AHI, allí, and the ALLI, there's not really much difference. Well, depending, I suppose, where you could say allí for the double L one, allí, allí, I suppose, but really basically there's not much difference in the pronunciation. So what do they mean? Well, aquí is here, and acá can also mean here, though I never use it for that, I always use aquí. Allí and allí are there. So, aquí and acá is here, allí and allí are there, and allá is further away. So if we look at them in terms of a distance, so we've got aquí, acá, here, allí, there, sorry, and then the IE with the double LI, which sounds exactly like the AHI, is actually further distance away. I suppose in English we tend to say here, there, over there, when we want to say something's a bit further away, don't we? So, think of it in terms of distance. If it's right near you, use aquí or acá. If it's a bit further away from you, you're using allí. And if it's even further away, you're using allí or allá. Okay, let's have some examples. So, we look at aquí and acá, here. Ven aquí o ven acá. Quiero decirte algo. Come here, I want to tell you something. Ven aquí, ven acá. You will hear both. I don't think there's like a Spanish or a Spanish or South American Spanish difference. Possibly. I think you hear aquí much more often. I certainly don't think I ever use acá. Maybe that's my fault, but I just don't. Okay, so near distance, we're using the AHI. Yeah, near, there, but not too far away. Not over there, just there. You know, you're sort of like, well, here is the table, there is the other table, and over there is another table. So that's the sort of thing in English. So an example we might use is lo compré en ese supermercado. Siempre hago compras allí. Now, the reason I've ringed the ese is because I'll explain it at the end. This word for that, so that means I bought it in that supermarket. So when you're using that supermarket, I always buy things there. Then allí goes with that. So, but I will explain that more in full later. So I bought it in that supermarket. I always do shopping there. Yeah, and to go with that would be the AHI. Then, using the further distance, allí and allá, over there. Mi madre nació en Manchester, pero ahora no vive allí o allá. Vive aquí. So my mother was born in Manchester, but now she doesn't live over there. She lives here. It's not true, by the way. Vale? So, allí, allá for further distances. So because of this then, with aquí and acá, tend to go the words for this. Yeah, this book here. Este libro aquí. And then, of course, you've got the feminine, esta. So you might say, esta casa aquí, this house here. Or these books here, estos libros aquí, or acá. Or estas casas aquí. Okay? Because this word would go with this, because it's close at hand. This computer, this card, etc. Whereas going with the one that's a little bit further away, we use that. And the way we say that in Spanish is ese, esa, esos, esas, depending if it's masculine, feminine, singular or plural. Esa casa ahí, al lado de mi coche. That house there at the side of my car or beside my car. And then for the further distance away in Spanish, they have a separate word. We don't have a separate word in English. We say like that car and that car over there. We still use that. We don't have another way of saying that. But in Spanish they do. So we have aquel, aquella, aquellos, aquellas. Again, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. And don't forget, we can use these expressions not only to talk about actual viable objects, you know, nouns, but look, in those times, well, let me read it in Spanish first. En aquellos tiempos nadie tenía internet. So in those times, nobody had internet. So that's quite a long time ago now, isn't it? So if you were talking about, you know, in the 50s, the 60s, even really, I suppose, up to the 90s, when people didn't have internet. So in aquellos tempos, in those far gone times, and you know, aquellos suggests more distant than esos tiempos, which would be more recent times. In fact, you don't very often read that, hear that. So, en aquellos tiempos nadie tenía internet. In those times, nobody had internet. Does that make more sense now? If you're still not sure, please let me know in comments. Hopefully that's made it a little bit more clear that when we're talking about here, we're saying aquí or acá. And when we're talking about there, we're saying allí, the H. And when we talk about further distance, over there, we're using allí or allá. Okay, gracias. And there is a special section in my Break the Language Barrier Level 3 book, which is available on Amazon. Anybody who's interested in buying the books to learn Spanish at home and you're not sure how to buy them, they are available on Amazon, but there'll be links. There'll be links in the description box of the names of the books and how you can find them on Amazon. Yeah, vale, ya está. So, como siempre, te veo muy pronto en el próximo video y hasta entonces, que tu Dios vaya contigo. Adiós.